Man, I mean, music is like one thing that I had that I have, you have, that does not let you down at any point.
Yeah.
And at its core, it does not let you down. It can get you anywhere you want to go, but you got to tap into what it is, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you feel in a certain type of way, you know how to go find something to ease that pain. At least in the temp, you know what I mean? And it's a drug when you actually start making it, start collaborating, and then you get to these frequencies that it turns into something else. And then at that, you're not even there anymore.
These kind of relationships that get disturbed when we don't take the time to know what it is to sing, to know how to get close to the mic again, or to get something. Singing doesn't make it happen, or maybe.
Welcome to another episode of Tune the Fort. I have my brother here, father, son, mate, beautiful soul of a human being, producer, multi-instrumentalist, tall black guy.
My brother.
Also known as Terrel. I can't call you tall black guy through the whole joint.
Terrel, bro.
Yeah.
You already know.
Welcome, man.
What's going on, brother?
Thank you for gracing us again for the second time.
We were just talking right before this, man. This is episode 70.
70, bro.
I was with you when you was at 0.
At 0. When I called you, the first one I called, like, hey, man, I got this idea. And you were like, yeah, like, go for it. And then, as you know, man, I reference you often in this thing, man, and you are a huge part, bro, of the man that I didn't know I was, and that you actually saw something in me, dog, that I didn't see in myself. And you planted the seeds that kind of gave me the path to just recognizing like that there's more to me than what I was, kind of accepting in me, dog.
Yeah.
And you, man, we've had these conversations before, but I wanted to make sure that on camera, so that it's memorialized forever in the interwebs, bro, that I love you and thank you, man, for everything, bro.
Hey, son. No,
everything.
Bro, it was something, man. Just to see you, how we even got set up, and then friendship, life, music, all the different things, man. And then, came on my crib, talking a little bit. I'm like, man, Jerry, go ahead and do that, bro.
Yeah, man. You was like, you got something to say, and I was like, for real?
You know what I mean? And the rest is history, man. So
when you were on before, dude, there was a lot about your story that we didn't get a chance to tap into.
Okay.
And I really, for the Tall Black Guy fans, and for me and for the people who love you, family and everybody, man, I'd like to talk about your origin, man, like your start, like what the younger Terrel was like, bro. That what you were fumbling around and getting into and shit, what kind of led you to music. So I wanted to go back, dog, if possible.
Like as a kid, interested in music, or where where was the dots connected?
What kind of kid were you?
I don't know, man. All I remember is I was a goofy kid. I was a real goofy kid. I was real lanky and tall and skinny and stuff. You know what I mean? I remember early that I was kind of into art. Like I would draw like cars and spaceships and stuff like that. When I was a little younger and stuff like that. And that was kind of always my little thing, you know what I mean? But then I had my mom would kind of like just play like, you know, all the stuff in the 80s, you know what I mean? Tina Marie, you know, we was talking about this, you know, mine them got Pat Metheny.
Mine too.
You know what I'm saying? Like they got that and she playing that and then Michael Jackson and all the other stuff. But then my pops would then play, you know, stuff to me too. You know what I mean? He had his whole jazz thing, you know, Herbie and George and all those guys. You know, so I got that mixture. But then the crazy thing is I have cousins that are like 10 years older than me.
Okay.
So they were into the beginning of hip hop. You know what I mean? So like, you know, for the Midwest it was with like JJ Fad and, you know, Oaktown 357 and Kilo and all those.
Yeah.
You know, and MC Hammer and everything else. You know, so I had that as my soundscape. You know what I mean? And, you know, just kind of just through life, just kind of just enjoy listening to music, you know, all while still drawing and stuff. Then I picked up sports, so playing basketball. You know, basketball was a real big part, you know, in the beginning, you know.
What was home like for you?
Home for me. So you know, my parents, you know, they kind of split, you know, when I was really young, you know what I mean? So I would share time with both of them. My mom, so I went to go live with my mother in Chicago, and then I would come and visit my dad in Detroit, and I was born in Detroit. That's where they met and everything.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it was like a kind of a back and forth thing. Like I would stay with my mom for up until, you know, spring break or something, or Christmas break.
Yeah.
Stay with my dad for 2 weeks. And that was kind of the thing though, you know what I mean? And as I got older, you know, maybe a little bit older, then I tried to, you know, I actually stayed with Pops for a little bit. You know what I mean? So, but it was like kind of shared between both parents.
Was your first love basketball or art or?
Basketball was my first love. Yeah, that was the one where I kind of dove into the most. You know.
Could you play?
Oh yeah, I was decent.
I mean, like for real.
Yeah, I mean, I was cool. I was cool, you know what I mean? You know, I played a little bit of high school and junior college, you know what I mean?
Oh, so you did go to, okay.
Yeah,
you went to JUCO?
Yeah. I played, so I was in the same class as like Dwayne Wade and Orlando Johnson, and, you know, those guys back at that time. So, you know, I played against Dwayne Wade in high school.
What position did you play?
Small forward, and then I played pretty much small forward up to center because I was in like the middle, you know what I mean? But, I mean, I could actually handle the ball, so I could play the one.
Hands.
Yeah.
When did you start fucking around with music?
Man, it was just kind of just a natural progression. So, you know, through having my cousins, you know, I have a cousin. Lover, you know, Santia Andrews. That's my heart book.
Santia
Andrews. Yeah, she's my big sister, mama, cousin. You know, one of them ones. She's a ride or die. You know what I mean? But her name was Bopper. You know what I mean? So
shout out to Bopper.
Hey, you know.
Love her. I didn't know that was her real name.
Yeah, Santia. Yeah. That's my girl right there. So, yeah, but anyways, man, yeah, she you know, she kind of got into beatboxing, you know what I mean? That's like a part of the elements at the time, you know what I mean? So like she was real cool. She used to like beatbox out her name and bopper and stuff. It was real dope at the time though, you know what I mean? But she used to do like ciphers she would beatbox for ciphers, you know, in high school and stuff. And that's how she got her nickname. You know what I mean? So I ended up kind of taking that as my like little want to make music in my mind, and you know I'm cleaning up. You got a beatbox song when you clean up or something like that. You know what I mean? So whatever it is, you know what I mean, just kind of just tinkling around. You know what I mean? Never played any type of real instruments out of like what the music classes would give you, like the recorder. You might do a piano class, maybe. You know what I mean? And then I would just kind of just listen, and then around like 14, I had like a double tape deck, and then you know the pause tapes where you stop and record and overdub, you know, each side. So I was dabbling a little bit with that. Didn't have any equipment or anything like that. And then, you know, I say around 17, just like right before I was like, or a little bit after I was about to graduate high school, I had a guy, it was a cat at my high school that was kind of messing around with music. Kind of went over his crib, you know, I was like, man, it's kind of cool, you know what I mean? Like, this is kind of the stuff I kind of do in my head or whatever, you know? And so maybe about a year later, you know, I kind of went and bought this program called Sony Acid Pro 2.0. No, it was Sonic Foundry Acid 2.0 at the time. That was in like 99, 2000.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And from there, bro, I would mess with that thing, you know, for about a month. And I was like, man, I can't get the drums right. There was something about it, just could not get it right. So I stepped away from it. And then, you know, maybe about, like, say 6 months later, you know, tried that again. And then from there, it was just on and popping, man. Like, I was trying to mimic every producer or whatever that I thought was cool at the time, like, you know, Premiere. I would try Premiere beats, didn't know how to chop it, you know, anything like that. I would try Neptune stuff. I'll try all types of stuff. You know what I mean?
Do people do that when they first start because they really don't have an idea of their own style or whatever?
I think what it is just trying to get because you're so, you know, a fan of the music, you know, you want to try to learn how they do it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And if you got any type of musical anything, you know, it's bound to come out somewhere. You know, whether you sing, tap dance, or
right.
whatever, you know what I'm saying? So tap on it, you know, if you got music in it, it's gonna come out somewhere, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, no, it was crazy.
Now, one of the things that I don't think a lot of people know is just how committed you were to this shit when you first started.
Yeah, no, in the beginning.
Talk about that.
I would say probably in the beginning when I was first really getting into it, probably about 4 years, man. I mean, I'm talking like pulling like 17, 18, 19 hours on this one thing, trying to perfect it. You know, that's, you know, without going nowhere.
So you stayed in, you gave up.
A lot. Girls, I wasn't going out nowhere, you know. And, you know, it took me about 7 years of that repetition until where I was like, I remember the track, you know, it's not out or anything, but I remember the beat. I was like, yo, that's me right there.
It took you 7 years to get to that point to where when you made that joint and you were like, that's me.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was 7 years. It was all the studying, just listening to all types of music. And I remember the moment. I was like, yo, that's the one. And then from there, that's kind of how I just built over time, you know, just a natural progression, you know what I mean?
So in that time period of that 7 years and you like head down, dude, what was in you that was driving you to do that? Was it that point where you listened to that song and you were like that, like, did you feel like it was something in you that you needed to get out or something that that was misaligned in your head that you were trying to line up? Like what can cause you to do something to that degree for 7 fucking years straight? I don't think a lot of people get that.
I mean, it was an escape for me in the beginning. It was a hobby. You know what I mean? Like I was just trying to learn how to make music, you know what I mean? And then at some point I was like, yo, I think this is what I want to try to pursue. Now, obviously I didn't really know kind of what I know now, how to move around in it and actually be able to sustain and save your money and credit and everything else though. You know, I didn't know that at the time. And so it's just been natural progression over the years.
But just in terms of, you have a sound, bro. Like somebody could listen to you and say, oh, that sound like a TBG joint.
Yeah.
And even with it being a hobby, it's it almost feels like it was the music, at least in the conversations that we've had about it, that it wasn't even you that was fixed on this path, but more so the music or the talent that needed to come out, that just needed Terrell's body to just do this shit so that it could get to that point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Almost like you're a slave to the shit in a way. And it feels like that a lot of times.
Jesus, man. Dude, it's I mean, you know this, man. I mean, music is like one thing that I had that I have, you have, that does not let you down at any point.
Yeah.
And at its core, it does not let you down. It can get you anywhere you want to go, but you got to tap into what it is.
Yeah.
Though. You know what I'm saying? If you're feeling a certain type of way, you know how to go find something to ease that pain. At least in the temp, you know what I mean? And it's a drug when you actually start making it, start collaborating, and then you get to these frequencies that it turns into something else. And then at that, you're not even there anymore, you know what I mean?
Now, when you said a minute ago the music was an escape, what were you escaping from, bro?
Man, just I had the typical Black home, but it was just a lot of chaos in a lot of ways, you know what I mean? So rather than me hear my parents kind of do their thing, that was a way for me to kind of just escape from that, at least in my mind.
I got you.
You know what I mean? And then it just turned to something that it just kept feeding me. It kept feeding. And through all the jobs and all the crazy jobs and stuff I've done, and it was this one thing that I had that it satisfies a lot for me. You know what I mean? Obtain it professionally if you really love it, you know?
Yeah. How do you feel about the trajectory of your career?
I mean, it's been a slow build, man. You know, from it taking 7 years first to find what that is, and then from there, then you got to start being able to showcase and start presenting it and playing it in front of people and see what their responses is and see if you actually got a shot at this thing. Then you got to network, you know, and all those different things. Like, so that was the path of it, you know, and it seems like it's a short amount of time, but it is a long time. Like this, I'm like, yo, I've done this for like 23 years, 20 something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro, and you 40.
40. Ain't that crazy?
It's crazy, man.
3 years. And I have been able to make a living off of it probably about 10. And full time, 7. 7, I think, is coming up soon. Maybe 7 years I've been fully employed with music.
So how do you feel about that?
It's a lot of pressure. You know what I mean? Because it can get to that point, you know, because you know you need money, but then you know you don't want to sacrifice and sell yourself for this fast cash, and then you got a gang of this recordings of yourself that are not going anywhere. How do you feel about that? You know what I'm saying? That's to each person. You know what I mean?
So how do you feel about that?
I don't do it.
Okay.
I don't personally do it. You know, I will turn down jobs if it doesn't align with what serves me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I've done it before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'll be okay. Another opportunity will come up. You know? So I don't have a problem with it at all.
So a lot has changed in your life, bro.
So much, man.
Over the last
7 years. Is everything going in 7, bro?
Yeah, I was gonna say 5, but shit, 7. When did you move?
When did I come back here at 17? Oh yeah, 6. When I came back 17. 2017. May of 2017. Was that 6 years? It'll be 6 years. Yeah.
A lot's changed.
Oh my God, dude. So much has changed, man. We gotta run it down. We gotta run it down. We gotta run it down.
A lot's changed.
Well, you were part of the journey in the you see what I'm saying? It's
I'll take that. I'll take that for
you know what
sure.
I'm saying? Like that.
For sure.
Yeah, man.
You're a dad?
Yeah, pops. I am a true bona fide father, man. Like, dog, it's insane. Sometimes I just stare at my kid. I'm just like, dog, you're my dude. Like, I made and created you with this other person, and we made you.
Yeah.
And it's insane to watch you grow right in front of our face.
And he's a beautiful son, bro.
Man.
He's one of the best. He's one of the best human beings I think ever, and he's about to be 3. He don't even like.
Oh, he's 3.
Yeah.
3 years old. I have a 3-year-old son. Woo.
How does that? How you been handling that pressure, bro?
In the beginning, man, when we had him, because we had Drew. I want to say me and Kelly, you know, DJ
Yeah.
Cleveland Brown.
Yeah.
We had Drew in the start right before the pandemic actually was about to ramp up.
Because he was in January and the pandemic was March or something like that?
It started ramping probably around, we started getting things around like the end of January, like reports and all this stuff. And then it actually hit around like that March, end of February going into March. Yeah. It was tough, man. You know, and then we had all that uproar in the White House and all this other stuff and the riots. I mean, it was just so many different things, man. So when we had him, man, I was just like, bro, I have a son in this whole situation right now. He could be mistaken for something. I'm thinking like all this is just racing my mind. You know, even me, you know, I go out here, some knucklehead cop or whatever, or something, just miscommunication or something that can cause me to get harmed, and then, you know, all that, you know. And so that definitely caused me not to even want to even really escape from music. Because it was like, man, I just need a moment.
Yeah.
I just need a moment. I have to process this right now. You know what I mean? All while going through the actions, you know, we not having no sleep for about 2 or 3 days type situation with you, you know, the getting up in the middle of the night, the breastfeeding, the changing of the diapers, you know, like that's a nice stretch of stress right there.
For sure.
You know? That's a nice time of stress, you know, that you got to manage. You know?
What have you learned most about yourself being a dad?
I'm learning patience probably the most, for sure. That, and too, he looking at every single thing I do, good or bad.
Yeah.
And he deposits these things like way down. That's the beginnings of it. You know what I mean? And then over the years, you know, as my level of maturity goes up and down, because he's going to see it all. Transparent. You know? He's going to see it.
How do you feel about what he sees?
He see me at my worst. At the lowest of the lows and at the highest of the highs. You know what I mean? But I ain't trying to fake him out like, dog, this is Pops, bro. You know what I'm saying? You gonna get, I might bug out on you a little bit. Because I see something else. I know you can do something different, bro. You know what I mean? Me and your moms are not getting along right now. You gonna see that. And then we learning, okay, we gotta get ourselves, you know, that's how we moving. You know?
Do you leave space to forgive yourself when you're doing that, bro?
It takes me a little bit of time because in the moment of it, I'm like, I want to get out what I'm going to get out. But then after a while, I'm like, bro, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
Just grow up.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
And it's just a part of like.
It's just a part of
Yeah.
the thing, bro. Like
Yeah.
it ain't no, it ain't no handbook when it comes to these little humans, bro. That they go up and down.
Yeah.
Man. And I'm sure you
Yeah.
have talked to enough of your lovely, beautiful friend circle to know what these little people are.
Yeah.
They are something different.
Did you ever want kids?
I did. You know, I was married for quite a while. You know, I think like we was together maybe about, it was 10 in total, but we were married 8. Something like that. It was around 8 years. But we couldn't have them, you know. And I just came to a point. I was like, okay, well, if it don't happen around this time, then it's not gonna happen, you know. And then when it did, you know, you fast forward to what was I, 38?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know. And when we found out, I was like, oh my goodness. You know what I mean? Because you want your stuff to be set up in a certain type of way, but then after a while, I'm like learning, even if you had your stuff set up in a certain type of way, it still don't prepare you.
Nah.
That's the thing.
Nah.
You ain't never prepared. I don't care how much literature or anything. There is nothing, because each kid processes it and has different genes intermixing and everything else. And they're going to be a whole completely different thing. You know what I'm saying?
How has parenting been? Co-parenting?
Dog. I think it's just, you know, you got one person, depending on their family dynamic and how they move in their joint and how they process and how they move around in their joint, you got that. And you got this other person, it's the same exact thing. Some could be completely have a great experience. And you got this other person where theirs is a little, you know, and then you trying to do that, and then you trying to get this kid to do both of those different things. Well, you doing it this way, well, you doing it this way, well, this is not right, and so on and so forth. And that's the thing. And you gotta figure out a way to compromise. Because then again, you don't want to be too aggressive, because then it kind of frays them away, but then you don't want to be too soft, because you know what I'm saying? So that's the role, you know, of it.
So in your relationship with Kelly, that's a totally different thing in terms of the Terrell that shows up versus the dad Terrell that shows up. Or are they kind of the similar person, you think?
I would say the same.
They're the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you said you're learning patience as being a dad, are you also learning patience in your relationship with Kelly?
Every day. You know, I mean, we were just talking about this. Like, yeah, man, it's just the journey that we've been through, man. I mean, it's, again, having a long-term relationship with somebody that in a lot of ways are similar but then are separate, and trying to coexist in that situation, you know, and if that's something that you two want to go down that path, and the path is not easy at all, you know. And then when you start thinking about like our elders, like, yo, you're married to a person for 30 years, you're gonna probably see about 4 or 5 different people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You evolving, and one might go up, and how do you move in that for that length of time?
Do you think it's because your mom been married to your stepdad pretty much since you've been around, right? For the most part. Have you ever known him to not be around?
No.
In terms of what your memory?
I mean, in the beginning. I mean,
Okay.
yeah. I remember the whole situation when he came into play.
Do you think it's been helpful for your relationship with Kelly to have that experience of, and this isn't to imply that everything's been perfect, whatever the fuck that means,
Right,
in your home crib, but
I got you.
the fact that they stayed together means something, it means something.
That means something.
Is that has it been helpful to you going through your relationship with Kelly to have that example?
Yeah. Yeah. For me. I mean, not all of the parts.
Right.
Like, just get that understanding real quick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get that understanding. Not all the parts, but like just the, that you have to see that. And then because again, you could have a perfect setup.
Yeah.
And then you could be out here wilding on one for whatever reason it is. So that don't even really necessarily mean anything though, you know what I mean?
What do you think that is, bro? We talk about it all the time. And what do you think it is?
I don't
like so even when you say like learning patience, right? We meet these women. What are we resisting when we meet them? When we say we need patience, what are we saying? What are we saying when we say that? You see what I mean? I don't even know if I'm asking the question right. Because it's kind of the question that I ask myself when I'm going through it at times. We were just walking last night when we were walking across the street to the Safeway. Mm-hmm. And it was like, that's not them.
No.
That's us.
I'm not doing this with you today, bro. I don't know, man.
You got a good woman, right?
I know I do.
100%.
100
facts.
Million trends, and there's no value on it. You know?
What do we be doing?
I don't know if it's a situation where you kind of thinking about the way that you kind of grew up with your whoever the guardian, whether it be your auntie, your mother, your grandmother, whatever, what that dynamic is between you and them, and that somewhat can shape the way as an older man or young man as you go through your life, dating and stuff, like how you determines how you gonna deal with women. You know what I'm saying?
So you're basically saying it's the first female relationship that a man has that is forming how you're going to respond to
potentially yes,
respond to the way you've been treating. Okay. So, but that don't address, I agree. But there still is something in us, despite that be like, hit that fuck it button.
Oh yeah.
And the fuck it button relates to, I feel, patience or lack of patience at times, or just, that's what I mean when I say it's, when we get to these points, man, when we in our 40s and shit, and dudes be having conversations about like our ladies and how we be interacting and how we be responding. And even you and I have it at times, right? Mm-hmm. We're at a stage now where we can't keep bullshitting ourselves.
No.
And even when we have conversations about stuff that's going on, it's like, bro, 100% ownership. And even in the patience and stuff that you're talking about, there is a part of that. But I think sometimes for me, it's the patience that I'm having or the lack of patience that I have with myself.
Right. Right. I mean, you know, you want things to go a certain type of way, right? You know, I do. You know, it's just, you just want, it just makes things smoother, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? And, you know, you and your spouse don't move at the same rate. They don't. I don't care how you set it up. You may want it to be like that, and it can be good or bad. I want you to take the trash out more, blah, blah, blah. And then something else set that off, and I mean, it's a whole different gamut of things, man. And so with that being said, man, you gotta kind of, you gotta accept them for the way that they coming in, and as they evolve, and you gonna evolve, and they gonna get it in the way that they get it. Again, that's if they evolve, though.
Yeah.
If they evolve, because you know, must be in a relationship and they just sitting in the same space for the whole entire time. And then the person that's with them, they accepted them for that, though. You know what I'm saying? Because they clearly see the transaction and the benefit of being with this person for whatever it is and their reasons. They there. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that is.
I wanted to thank you, bro, and Kelly. You know, you guys are working on y'all relationship like everybody in a relationship. I don't give a fuck if you're in a good relationship, you're working on the relationship. Yeah. And I think the negative part sometimes is when you say, "Oh, working on a relationship," it implies that there are issues. I don't really feel like, I don't like using that kind of terminology, man, because I feel like it's all work, it's all managing, it's all of that shit, right? And so, you guys were going to get married. And y'all decided to hold off on that relatively close up to the wedding day. And without going into too much detail, bro, how did you work up the courage, bro, and the strength, dog, to call all of your friends and just be like, "Yo, we need a little bit more time"? Because that ain't a normal motherfucking thing that people do, dog.
They don't. They don't. I mean, they kind of just do it with a, kind of just shove it to the side with a blind eye, man. And then, you know, you have a divorce in 6 months. Divorce in a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For what, you know, marriage it's not no game. You know what I mean? In that fashion. Now, you can get married or you're not. I'm just saying being in a relationship with a person, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. And then obviously it's a contract that binds you with a marriage, whatever, for all of the different purposes. It was like, yo, you know, we were going through it, man, you know, going through it. And it was like, you know, by me being married, you know, and going through a pattern for that length of time, I was like, yeah, this, because I can't repeat myself again, man. It was still going through it, even with the new relationship, still some of the residuals of that one.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? All the hurts, all those things, you know, you start seeing pattern, you know, you're trying to put those things together, but it doesn't, that's not it, you know what I mean? But you gotta still process and go through that. You know what I'm saying? So by me being married, I was like, okay, yeah, we gotta hold this out. You know what I mean? If people was riding with us, they understand I do not want to do a second divorce. That's what I don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? I want my kid to see consistency, good, bad, and ugly, but we all riding together. You know what I mean? That family structure, sorry. You know? So we called all the folks, you know what I'm saying? And next thing was we got straight into couples counseling. You know what I mean? Still currently going. You know what I mean? You know, what is this? December? Was it 4 months?
Mm-hmm.
4 months?
Yeah.
4 months of counseling. Congrats.
4 months and 2 days. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's beautiful. It's been bumpy, but we again, it's just we developing the team callus. The team's callus. Got armor around it. You know what I'm saying? You know?
What have you realized during your counseling that you know you got to do differently?
One, I know for sure. Again, like we talked earlier, you said about forgiving yourself. You know, like that plays a big part in it all. You gotta forgive yourself. Well, I gotta forgive myself.
Yeah.
You know. And again, learning how to allow my partner to again, she's gonna move in a pace that makes sense and is conducive to the way she moves, and I have to support that. And then the same with me.
Yeah.
You know, we have to have that space and grace. You know, we gonna get there.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there eventually. Just the makeup and the way we move, we gonna get there. It's just at different rates. You know what I mean? As long as we are each other's cheerleader, you know.
How good would you say you are, bro, with like receiving love from a woman?
I would say I am pretty good. I would think so. You know, I haven't had too many relationships with women to really, you know, have that type of situation. But I mean, I would think.
So I used to get nervous as a motherfucker, bro. I've been horrible at it. Oh, bad, dog. Bad. Like, because for me, receiving love, being open to it, required a certain amount of vulnerability, dog.
We talked about this.
And that
talked about this.
Just, and even that goes to like the intimacy shit, right?
Yes, sir.
And that was something that is just, I ain't.
Yeah, man.
So to be open enough to say, to be vulnerable to receive that, it's something I mean, I used to have big issues with.
I know for me, man, like I'm a big, I guess what's the love language? The touch,
Physical
touch.
Yeah.
That's my joint. You
Okay.
know what I mean? So I'm like a big old teddy bear. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in that. That's what that's my space. You know what I'm saying?
How do you plan on? I mean, I know you loving Andrew now, but the way men love and show love, varies than the way a woman does.
Absolutely, yes.
How do you ever think about that? Like how you're gonna like show affection and love, and what are like cutoffs and that kind of thing?
And I mean, he's of what I've known as the acceptable way to deal with another man or kid or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna dap my kid up. You know what I'm saying? Pound. You know what I'm saying? Headbutt, whatever. You know what you know what was crazy is that when I had Drew, I remember the moment when my pops, he had asked me for a kiss, and at the time, you know, I'm a child, but I said no. And I had held on to that for years and years and years. I'm like, I never.
Really?
Yes, I promise you. So when I had my own kid, I was like, damn, I'm kissing my own kid. And I just denied my pops this when I was a kid. You know what I mean? I'm making a connection in my mind. And so then after I had Drew, I was like, man, let me make sure, you know, if I see my pops, I might kiss him on the cheek or something like that. There's not, you know, that's just, ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing with it. You know what I mean? That's my pops.
Yeah.
It's my daddy.
Yeah.
You know? So the same thing with Drew. You know, I'm not gonna kiss you on your lips. No, I'm not gonna do that. you see the octave that went up with that one.
Yeah,
right?
you had to raise the eye. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know, that's my kid. You know.
So being a dad helped reframe like your relationship to your dad in that way.
Yeah.
So did you feel like, did it make you feel like, damn, if Drew wouldn't want to kiss me, I would feel rejected? Did it almost make you feel like that kind of way? Like, damn, and if I made my dad feel like that, then I feel bad.
Man, that was what it was, bro.
Was your dad the kind of dad that ever told you he like loved you and said it like out loud and shit?
Man. More so now, as an adult man, you know, we definitely say a lot more now, you know. As a kid, I can remember sometimes, but not on a regular basis, no.
How has your relationship changed with your dad, bro, as you gotten older?
He's become more of my friend, but I respect my pops though. That's the, you know, like I'm not gonna come at my dad.
Yeah.
You know, our pops they cut from that same.
Yeah, same.
Don't get it twisted, man. They will shoot you right in that toe.
And I believe him.
I've seen him he actually has did that before. When I came in the crib and I set the alarm off, and he didn't know who it was, you know what I mean? This nigga in his drawers. He about to pull that thing out.
And I think when we say friend, though, it is because we don't disrespect our friends.
No.
You know what I mean? No. So it's I think when you say friend, or at least when I heard you say friend, I'm thinking someone that you've got like a genuine like affinity for, that you like as a person, that you're interested in, and as outside of like you're not doing it out of duty. You know, like I'm not calling my friend because he's my friend. I'm calling my friend because I really want to see how that motherfucker doing. Because we get down like that.
Yeah, you know, and then, you know, in that you get the nuggets. They drop them on you. Now at the time when you receive it, you probably ain't gonna get it though. You ain't gonna get it at the time, but then it's gonna come when they tell you something from 10 years ago, and that must pop up on you. You're like, oh, okay, I understand what you're saying now, buddy.
You see yourself in your dad.
I see my ways, some of his ways, you know. I definitely see them, or they're becoming that. Yeah. You know. I think the thing with my pops, so my pops had me when he was 19, you know what I'm saying? I had my first kid when I was 38. It's like almost that's
twice as long.
That's twice as long. So at 19, did he know anything? First of all, as him even living, did he know anything?
No.
Then you get with this woman, do she know anything? And they trying to govern that at that time. And I'm 38. I had a little bit more life experience, you know, so I had to step back on both of my parents. I just had to tell them thank you. You know what I mean? Like I see it 100%. You're trying to figure it out. You're just trying to figure it out.
And you doing that at 38. So you can only imagine at 19, 20, 21.
Son. You know what I mean? So, you know. Yeah, no, my pops. That's a strong dude right there, man. I am extremely proud of him for all he has been able to accomplish in his lifetime, man. You know what I mean? Like that was the example I seen that said, yo, if I find something I like, just keep going. Just keep going. You know what I mean? It's gonna be bumpy, you know what I mean? But, you know, just do that. You know.
Do you think your pop knows how you really feel about him?
I think he will after we had his interview. He will. No, I'm just playing. No, my pop. I think he knows, man. I think he knows. You know, and we the same, man. We don't show the love, but we show the love. It's that dynamic that we have.
It's the reason why I asked, bro, was when my dad died, I went to his wife's house, my stepmother's house, and we were having a conversation. And it was just a casual conversation. And then she was like, your dad was so proud of you. And I looked over at her and was like, really? Like he was proud of me?
Right.
It was like hearing it, bro, for the first fucking time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was landing in a way that it hadn't landed before.
Because it didn't come out of his mouth.
And it didn't come out of like his mouth. It was like something, and she was like, oh yeah. Like, and there was a way in which she was expressing his love and adoration for me towards her that made me actually feel it. That I didn't necessarily know if I even got it. And you know, it's weird because sometimes I imagined him just hanging up the phone and me being me, not creating the space for him to show up in the way that he would want to show up. Maybe he didn't feel he could because he regretted a bunch of shit at the time.
That's what happens.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what happens.
So he would hang up the phone and go and talk all excited to his wife about me in a way that our one-on-one connection didn't even allow him to. And I remember feeling so motherfucking sad, bro, that I had ever put him in a position that made him feel like he couldn't share that. And I didn't create the space that would allow him to even forgive himself for like not being the dad that I know he wanted to be in my life and all that kind of shit. And that's the reason why I asked, because I'm always thinking about, oftentimes I think about that moment with his wife, and how just casually moving and living, you know.
Shouts out to Pops, man. You know, he lost his wife of 35 years, man. And so to kind of give a backstory, you know, kind of give a story about my Pops. So my Pops is he's a mortician, Terrence Andrews, out in Detroit, Michigan, or whatnot. He's been doing it for 35 years. He's been doing it since I've been 5 years old. And so he met this woman with this idea, and they ran with it for 35 years, bro. He started without her. Then they got together, and then she was by his side, and they was trucking along for all the time with their relationship, with their business, and all this stuff. And then she's gone, and I have to be there to see his ups and downs. And how do I navigate that with my own family and all of that dynamic? You know, it's But then he has a whole set of other stressors that he's got to go through. You know what I mean? So it's just like, man, how do you do that in a healthy way?
Yeah.
To deal with that type of those stressors, you know?
How do you do it?
Man, I try to escape to music, man. I'll try to smoke. I'll try to drink. You know, sometimes I go up and down with it. Sometimes I might not do it at all. A lot of times, if I'm really overwhelmed, I might go and create music. You know, those are kind of like my 4 different things that I use in creation with art, but then try to still maintain a relationship and still be a father around, because the easiest thing to do is just to go escape to music, but you can't do that. Can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, I got a whole family here. I got to be attentive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got to play with my kid. I got to talk to him. I got to
Present.
You know what I mean? How you gonna be a father in the house and you not present? Present though. Not going to work. You make it. I get that. That's cool. But present, where you gotta talk, when they talk to you, understand the information that your child is telling you.
Yeah.
That communication is open, right? It's open. There's no judgment. Don't mean I'm gonna accept it. Not to say accept it. Don't mean I'm gonna like it.
Yeah.
But that's your unconditional love right there. Unconditional. Whatever way they go, because you can give them everything, and they still gonna go where they gonna go. Do I disown them?
Can't.
Can't disown your baby. You can't do it, dog.
You know, I was thinking the other day, dog, how blessed you are, bro, and how the universe lined your life up in such a dope way to be back in Detroit, to even be in a position, man, to be there for your dad in the way that you have been up to this point.
Yeah.
And I know that the shit ain't always been easy for you and juggling, man, and you are one of those cats that you hard on yourself when you know that you gotta be like at this level and there are things and people depending on you, and when you can't show up or you feel like you taken away from one area over there, it feels like it's a lot. But the fact that all of these stars aligned in a way for you to be in Detroit at the time when his wife passes, and for you to support and do the things that you're doing, man, it's a real fucking blessing, bro.
Listen, I mean, you can't have it any other way, man. You can't have it any other way, bro. You know, we had that conversation the other day, bro. Like 6 years, that roller coaster from where it was, you know, this is at the low, at least in my mind. It's a failed marriage. It's a failure. You're a failure. You poured all your time and efforts into this thing or to this person, and it don't work out by something that's out of your control, and you still trying to do the right thing, and go ahead and cheat on the woman. Be a person of your word and be committed to that. You know, until it did, and then it becomes overwhelming. Then obviously you do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Rack off a couple of them. You might need to do that a little bit. Kids, don't do that. Don't do that. But no,
don't worry. Yeah.
But no, man. And then now, man, like, yo, that comeback was just insane. The comeback was insane, bro. The amount of stuff that happened in 6 years, bro.
And big shit.
Big shit, nigga. What?
Should be overwhelming sometimes, don't it?
Man, dog, when you sit down and think about it, bro, yeah, it definitely gets overwhelming. It can get overwhelming.
Yeah.
You know, you just gotta. Then that's when the patients come in. That's what. And then we talked about last night, bro. Stay out. I'm staying out the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless it's immediate, I gotta do. I just can't, because if I start having a whole bunch of stuff just swarming around, man, that's when the anxiety, which I never had. I never had it.
Is that what you be feeling? Anxiety?
I don't. I mean, it's just a lot of overwhelming. I've been ever since I had Drew. I definitely worry is always in play. Now, worrying. I don't know if it's a parent. I don't know. I don't know if you've talked to anybody about that.
Mm-mm.
Just worrying, man. And it can the concerns can be. I mean, there's so many concerns. You have. I mean, I'm not gonna describe.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a parent, you understand what it is.
Right. I assume it didn't even.
You know,
so you're I feel like you're at an interesting place, man, music wise, bro.
I am. Again, going back to, focusing, committing all this time and effort and trying to figure out my way and trial and error, I know it's more. I know for a fact that there's something more musically that I can tap into, or I can be tapped into somebody that's about to find it. However it works. I just want to be around in that. That way we can take it further. You know what I mean? Like, I'm definitely 100% grateful, that I've been able to build a career off of my music, my art, and my sound. You know what I mean? I think it's just right now I'm kind of in this, I want to try to change things up a little bit.
That's a scary spot to be in, bro.
Yeah, because, I never really kind of pigeonholed myself into a box as of what styles, but the sound in some capacity, yes. Because those things over time, as you build your sound, you're going to rely on these particular findings that you find in the field. You know what I mean? Through records, through sound design, through TV, your kid talk. I mean, it's all these different things. You just use it, and sometimes you use it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. The repetition of it.
So when you are stretching out of your comfort zone and your normal way of making music, what's your natural reaction when you do that?
I want to get there. It's just it takes time to get there in the way that I hear it in my head.
Okay, so you don't run back to the old way. I
am literally trying to do that as we speak.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like I dropped something a couple days ago, which the good brother, who was that? Who's the good brother right there?
Coyote Gray.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
The like slight light.
Light and bright.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, he blessed it. He blessed it with some words. He got my sister, Be My Fiasco, my good brother Jose Moore. He released something on college music. My Freedom Travel, Feral Spirit. So we did that joint. What were we talking about, bro? I kind of lost it.
Making the music different.
Yes, that track, definitely, I definitely try to challenge myself on that one, I'm definitely going more into like live, trying to be as, because the whole thing is I want to sound as analog as one of those records that I have, so many of this music we collect.
Yeah.
That sound is amazing to me, and I want to create that. Like we talked about in the beginning of the conversation, before we even started. Like, I want to make Heat Wave Star of a Story. Like, what does it take for me to make that? How can I get there? Like, that's the barometer. That's the Mount Rushmore for me.
And you don't think you've made that yet?
No, not even remotely close. I'm getting there. You know what I mean? And getting there is not getting there by myself.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah? So then you tap into the good brother,
Yeah.
Zoe, and the dynamic we've created. I'm like, okay, yeah.
It feels different, man, when you ain't alone, bro. Like it's like the next phase is jazz.
G.
I don't care what kind of music, I don't care what the sound is, as long as you together.
Listen.
And making a vibe, bro.
Dog. Yeah, I mean, man.
I said something the other day, bro. I was like, there's nothing, everything I want to do moving forward, I can't do alone.
No.
I can't do any of it by myself, bro.
No.
My last days are gonna be spent
Yes.
connecting
Yes.
and doing shit with other people in some capacity. I can't do it alone.
The act of service. You take that for what it is. How do you apply act of service to life that doesn't involve receiving? Giving. Time. Obviously, money is a thing. You know what I mean?
But that's a part of it. Yeah.
Whatever it is. Knowledge. You know?
What's your favorite work
My favorite work
that you've done?
that I've done. Have you asked me before?
No.
Man, I can't answer that question, bro. I truly, because I don't feel like I've gotten to my I'm just like kind of tapping it right now, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You know what mine is.
What?
Of yours.
What?
The Youssef, bro.
Oh. You've been on that Youssef, man.
Terrell, tall black guy, has an alter ego called Youssef Rumperfeld. It was some music that he made. It's a whole project. He's got a wig on the album cover. And he made it when you was around, what, 21, 22?
Yeah, 21, 22.
And it's got a Brazilian flair. It's heavy and like instrumentals. And it is, to me, it is his best work. And if you go listen to it, Youssef Rumperfeld. What's the name of the album?
Jazz in Motion.
Jazz in Motion. He's got a big ass motherfucking afro on the album cover. You'll see it.
With the
With a mustache.
with the Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, with the handlebar
He
joint.
got the Richard Pryor. Richard Roundtree.
It's great music. It's where I feel like there is a phase two to your sound and into where you're going to go. And I feel like a lot of what it's like I had ayahuasca in one of my last joints. No, second to the last joint. And in the ayahuasca experience, there was this door that was created in my mind.
Okay, right, okay.
And I was trying to get through the door. It's gonna sound weird, so just give me a chance. This is literally what was happening like in my mind. I'm here in like the world, the universe, unlimited love, unlimited everything is on the other side of this hole.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to go through the hole to get to the other side where everything is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sitting there and I'm looking in this void, trying to figure out how I can get through the hole.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking around at the hole and I would go up to it and I realized that my ego was too big. And as I was sitting there, bro, I had to start shedding me.
Right. I got you.
To fit through the hole.
Right.
So that I could get to the other side. There was just too much baggage that I was taking.
Right.
And I feel like that with this phase 2, for a lot of the stuff that you doing and that we're talking about, and we talk about off camera, is that there's a lot of shedding that's gonna have to take place to whatever the degree that means to you. I mean, and nobody outside is gonna be the one to be like, okay, that's what you gotta let go of. That's what you gotta let go of. Like you and your heart and in your mind of what your comfort zone is, like you know what the vices are or whatever all that kind of shit is more than anybody. So those are the things that I feel are gonna have to be, let go to really get to that phase 2 for that other stuff that we, be talking about. Cause that ego is a motherfucker. And I don't even know if it's ego for you. I'm just using my example of the ayahuasca experience to get through.
Man, bro. I mean, it's a thing of fear. Cause, tapping to whatever that is that the next phase of whatever the artistry is, the fear is just that the fact if you do got to give up a lot, man. Like you're disciplined to get better in the process of trying to find this thing. You can't have perfection, but you still gotta keep going forward. You gotta keep going forward. You gotta keep doing that. And then with that being said, like you're gonna have these sets of your fans that want you to have this they're comfortable at that point of where you're at. You know what I mean? You provide them with this emotion, this thing, and the crazy thing about it is I don't know how I got to, I never really consider myself an artist, maybe not until later as I started till I really understand what it was, just because it's just a lot of vision and stuff that you have. And once you know how to put all that stuff together, again, you're creating something. You're creating something. Not a lot of people have that gifting. They don't have that. They don't have a way that way to express themselves like that. I have a way to tap into something that actually goes outside of me. I have that ability to do that.
Yeah, you do.
You're learning to do that right now.
Yeah.
Everybody that you hang around, they have that ability to turn up a frequency, a notch that can go, and then they got to go through their life to then spend it out, people to enjoy it, and all this other stuff. We have a circle of friends that do that.
Yeah.
Some at a very high level.
Yeah. Can we take certain aspects of that, bro, into our relationships?
Them two go head in hand.
Okay. I thought I knew the answer, but I had to throw it out there to see just.
Man, you already know,
Okay.
Slim.
Because everything you just said about getting through that door,
Yeah.
a healthy relationship is on the other side.
Right.
Like flourishing and synchronicity and all of that shit with another human being. Man. Because that fear and all of that shit, like a lot of it, because we say it, bro, like our relationships are a song, man. Shit, it's just, and it might be the one we take the longest to make.
This is our relationship with song. Do you understand how many song titles we come out? It's so many.
So many, bro.
So many.
Especially if you meeting 5 motherfuckers along the way of making the song.
Listen.
Like you were saying.
Listen. And type of lyrics you trying to come up with them.
Man, and you writing the motherfuckers and rewriting them every day.
And some days you don't even want to do it.
You don't even want to do it.
You don't even, man, sometimes you want to say, fuck it. Man. But yeah, bro. Nah, this new thing, man. I know it's there, man, and I'm just happy, man, that the universe sent me a collaborator in Zoe, where as we've been collaborating now, man, it was since 19, 3 years. About to come up on 4.
Been a minute, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the way that how we kind of somewhat of the same personal circumstances, but mean up in musically and aligning in that. And a cat that you can trust and know that, I know my ability in this in the comfort that we have in our situation. We know how we work. I know I can get to a certain point. Hey, my man, go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get you a dunk. I got you some buckets now. Now go ahead and bring it home, or vice versa.
Yeah.
However it work out.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing, man. Because when he sat there, obviously, he said the same thing, and it ain't just words. You feel it.
Oh yeah.
Between both of y'all and the music, it's expressed in the music as well.
Absolutely.
And it's dope, man. And to see you
level up.
Level up. Because your key game has gotten stronger. You out there.
Hey, you gotta level up.
Yeah, man.
Hey. Zoe play.
Yeah, he play.
He play. And so, okay, we gonna do that. Cause then we playing sports, so now it's like, okay, you want to add that? Oh, I know this is what you doing. Okay, let me learn that real quick. Okay, challenge, bang, boom, boom, bang. We got a track. Then we start, and then from there, then the great thing is when we start doing that Lowry's, the seasoning, and that means I gotta live a couple days. I gotta go through whatever I gotta go through. Be with my kid. I don't like him right now. Get away from me, bro. Okay, bring that back to the music. Put that back in. Vice versa. And the great thing is too, man, he's a father. He's a father that I thank him in the moments where I ain't know what the hell to do. He's like, yeah, man.
Because he got a few more years on you.
He got some years, you know what I mean? But that's the thing. You need those type of folks around,
How important is your circle, bro?
Extremely, bro. Because every person, they provide me with a different perspective and counsel, but then we all have like the same values and morals. We kind of think alike, and and they're very tight, very tight knit, And what's crazy, man, I just had this thought. So I started my Instagram back, and I was like, you know what? It sucks that I had to lose those amount of followers, man. But to be honest, man, like I didn't know all those people. So now, okay, I know I did something. Something had happened with that page. I know I have the leverage with the page, and the years of time spent has been deposited in. Now it's just like, okay, let me really hone this circle of fans, art, people, all these different things into one central space. And then that's the way that how you work into how to build the fan base and all that stuff. You know what I mean? But like, I'm not gonna follow you if I don't even really know you like that. And what are you doing in your art or whatever? Is it representing something? You know what I mean? I'm just not gonna have fluff.
Yeah, you're gonna be intentional with the shit.
Very intentional. You know what I'm saying?
Because like you said, man, like the circle, it's more of just like what do you have line of sight into?
Yes.
And if you're and keeping the circle small ensures that your line of sight
Yes.
is structured in a way that where it's really like beneficial. You ain't got like no bullshit.
Yes. Not only that, everybody understands and knows each other and the resources around to help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm still working at it. Still working at it. Because we got to, we both know it needs to get done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to get there,
Yeah.
you know. But meanwhile, we tuning.
Yeah. I like that.
We tuning.
Yeah.
We getting them spark plugs right.
Yeah. Yeah. Get them new plugs. Get them new plugs and wires. You go to AutoZone, you get them motherfucking plug and wire kits.
I know.
What was the what's the
Which
other
one?
thing? The damn, what's the thing that I can't think of the name of it. Fuck, I fucked up the joke.
I don't remember.
God damn. I can't remember. Shit. But yeah, man, I'm excited for when we fuck around, man, and we make music, bro, and we just listen to music, it's some of the best moments, dog, of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It gets me through
Yeah.
in ways that you be like, damn, you need something, you didn't even know you needed that. And then you be like, oh, okay, that's what that feels like.
Yeah.
That's what that sounds like. That's what that feels, it's a great thing, man. And
It's a beautiful high.
and to have you like as a brother.
Yeah. It's a beautiful high. It has some, I'm talking gone.
And the beautiful part of that too, bro, we didn't have some lows.
Absolutely.
Our lows have been just as motherfucking low as the high. And with that space, man, love still existed.
Exists in that. What did you say was in the whole unlimited love and
It was just the universe. It felt like everything.
Yes.
Like me and everything.
Yeah.
But and I think that's important. That's important too, man. Like what is an individual's, when we're talking about loving people, when we're talking about accepting them, we're talking about a very small piece in most cases, bro.
Yes.
We're not talking about the full motherfucker.
Not at all. Not at all.
You know, and the fact that we've been able to experience each other in about as broad of a way as two human beings can show up.
You're right.
Is, and still be like, that's still my dude. We still rocking. We still supporting. We still, because a large part of our shit is not feeling like we enough. And it's a beautiful motherfucking thing, man, to find another brother that can like genuinely accept a motherfucker for who they are, bro. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the things that I have realized in myself that I didn't know was there, was a result of you accepting the fullness, bro, of who I am. And telling me and looking across from the table and being like, yo, man, you gotta relax on this thing over here, bro. You a good motherfucker. Same with Buck, dog. It's like there's a way in which, thankfully, I've aligned with people, man, who have taught me so many things, man. And as much as a motherfucker think I'm dropping game on them, I'm expanding because of these relationships, man.
I remember when you one time, man, you told me, man, that you didn't think highly of yourself. You were like always depressed. And I never could see that on you. I don't know if it's because you might have not let me see it, but you just told me you go through that. I'm like, wow, nigga, you be joking, laughing, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I never seen that on you. I always seen like, this my man's. Clearly he likes some type of art, you know what I'm saying? The shit fly, you know, all the things. He's tapped in some form of way, and then as I get to know you, I understand that you have an expression. You use your voice. You use it. You know what I'm saying? It's got you a long way to use your voice.
I didn't know that was a thing, man. And them dark moments was me. And that's why sometimes, so alcohol was a big piece of it.
Yeah.
And I would come home, bro, and crash, like being at home by myself and then just bawling out crying.
Really?
And then I would gear up to be different in front of people. And it's like I would try to be as charismatic. I try to buy people drinks and hang out and be like, hey, what's going on, man? What you guys doing? What's going on? You cool? Everything good?
Right,
and laughing and cracking jokes. And I come here and I would just,
But that's a lot of, you was giving. You was exerting out. You wasn't receiving.
No, I was giving.
You was giving. You was giving, it sounded like too much.
It was a way of me hiding. I still feel like I give in that way. It's just that I don't have all of the negative images. And I was telling somebody, some of my shit I gotta invite you into, because I do a good job of hiding shit, bro.
I got you.
And that was one of those things.
It's nice to be appreciated.
Wow. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Siri.
And I'm trying not to hide the shit anymore because light is a disinfectant. So trying to put it out. But yeah, man, all of this shit has been helpful. Super motherfucking helpful. And just being able to make music and create things with you, man. And even some of the ideas and the way that we think and shit, bro. It's
in that 6 years, like, you know, we developed a kinship, a brotherhood in that. But not only that, I mean, just a fellow creator, a creative.
Yeah.
Creative need to be around other creatives. I don't care what you do.
Yeah. Right.
If you knit pillows and you make something, you need to be, and they got something, if they make something from nothing, you need to be around them.
That's their thing.
That's their thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they flock together. You know, just like ball player, they know they know when there's another ball player. Okay, that's their thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, you didn't know you. I'm sure you knew you had it in you, because you DJ. But then your mom was the origin.
Yeah.
You know, so it was there, and then we hook up. And then it
just goes somewhere else, bro.
Somewhere else.
And that was that was it. And it's so funny because when Kelly introduced us, it's hard for two dudes to meet each other and get tight when you in your 40s. That just ain't something that happens.
You don't let nobody in your circle.
So it took us a little bit of time, and the vetting process was. Who that motherfucker? I don't give a fuck who he is. Yeah, I like his music. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. I listen to JB Sweet. So what? I got this motherfucker.
right.
I want you to meet him. Like, does that nigga want to meet me? Why are you calling him? I remember one time. Are you calling him, asking him this shit that you asking me?
Right.
Why you want me to meet him?
Over the top with it.
Like over the top, like
Dude,
Kelly.
don't do that.
Kelly, relax. We gonna just fall into some shit. We're not going to date.
Right.
We gonna figure it out. This is how dudes bond. They like it's just It's just how it's just. I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's wrong. I know this is the motherfucking way.
Right. Nah.
Cause she would say, "Man, y'all got so many similarities. Y'all so much alike. You gotta meet them. Y'all gotta hang out." And even in the time when I met you, the first time you came and we met at the spot, District Distilling or whatever, and I was there for an hour and a half. Y'all was late and shit. You had on that motherfucking hat, cocked ace dudes coming in looking all cool and shit. She was. You don't remember that?
I didn't say anything.
Nah, we met.
We dapped.
We just dapped. I had been waiting. I guess your flight came in late or something. There was some traffic or something. Yeah. And I had stopped by because he was like, I want you to meet Terrell. I want you to meet Terrell. Because Rome or Jamil who was spending that night?
Jamil was playing.
And I was listening. I don't go nowhere, man. You know, shit. Even back then, I was just out for a minute.
Right.
But nah, man, it's been a blessing. And then we add the boy on top of the mix, bro.
And see, that's the thing, man. I mean, you know, well, at least for me, I had a healthy dose of the strong aunties and I had my uncles. And then you know, growing up back when we grew up though, bro, like just the respect level for elders was just different.
Yeah.
Like you had a community, like your next door neighbor ain't gonna let you ain't gonna say nothing to your next door neighbor that you ain't gonna say to your mama.
Right.
Put it like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They the same people.
They the same people. And that's the community though.
Yeah.
You know, that's how the block work.
Yeah.
And you ain't gonna really have that no more. You know what I mean? Like that's that type of work in that way it's hard to talk to these young folks now, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Andrew, man, gonna have a different.
He's gonna have a different perspective because I'm gonna be very intentional about the people that I put in front of him. You know, strong black men for sure.
Yeah.
But just the way that you move, man. You know, it has to line up with all the other different things that I'm trying to put in place.
I dig it.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and whatever he takes from the game is what he takes from it, but he gotta get exposed to it. You gotta get exposed to it, and then you take it for where you take it. You know, but no, it's a wonderful thing, man. So. I'm just saying though, bro. Yeah, episode 70 though, bro. I when you told me you was gonna do that joint, G, damn. And you did it though.
Did it, bro.
You did it. You did it. You can't tell me shit. You didn't talk about it, did not do it. You talked about it and did it.
That's a crazy thing.
And did it. And still doing it. And getting better. To the point we can't even sleep. Then you understand now with the artists and curators when they start tapping in and like we have so many times, the conversation we have so many times, the relationship you have with this form of your vulnerability to people and allow them to be vulnerable to you. You receiving, you take it, and it's just it's a give and take. This is your contribution. You know, you should be proud of yourself for that, man. You know what I mean?
I am, dog. I am.
That shit is great.
Yeah.
Accept it, my nigga. Accept that shit. Talking about you ain't got no voice. And I got accepted too. As many breakdowns of game we didn't have to go. Man, listen here, bro. So many So many. So many. You can see me crash and burn.
Bro.
It's crash and burn. You know? That's a part of the story though. And then what's crazy is the crash and burn ended up still helping something else in another area.
Ain't that how it go?
Completely different area. How does that work?
Man, it's the beauty of the universe, man. All of this shit it's gonna take everything and make something from it because it's all connected.
Right.
The good, the bad, the right, the wrong, all leads to the same place. It all leads to the same fucking place. It just depends what path do you want to take to get there? What path do you want to take? I want to take this good nigga path.
Yeah.
I want to take this do what the fuck I'm gonna do what I'm gonna say because that's the kind of man I want to be path.
Right.
You could take the slight nigga path to where you bullshitting and fucking around and fucking over people. You're gonna still get there.
Yeah.
You just gonna get there by being that kind of nigga.
Yeah.
And because there's no wrong in the
Either
universe.
Yes.
And good is gonna come from both.
Yeah.
You might not see it, but
Yeah.
that's the promise.
Yes.
You just gotta choose.
You gotta choose it.
And I wanna choose, I'm choosing, bro, to be this man that I am. I'm choosing that. And I'm choosing to be the man in our circle that I feel I'm designed to be. And you're doing the same thing for me, man. Like I wouldn't even be here without you.
Right.
Being you.
Right.
Even with the low shit and the whatever motherfucker you think you are, I wouldn't be who I am without that person.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful for the whole motherfucking joint, bro. From the rooter to the tutor. I'm appreciative of the whole nigga. And I will always be in gratitude for you, to you, and to Kelly.
Beautiful.
And I'm gonna show my gratitude
Yeah.
through being the most solid motherfucker I can be
Yeah.
to help you guys raise that boy through an example.